This is Lawrence Goff here at Newark Cemetery, and I've got Bert Emerson, who's going to tell you his experience about Ransome and Marles 70 years ago. Go ahead, Bert.
Well, I'm Bert Emerson. I'm 90 years old this year. At the time of the bombing, I was 19 years old. I'd spent the first part of my apprenticeship in the tool room, and I was in there for 2.5 years. And then the war broke out, and there was a draftsman that was in the Territorial Army, was called up, and I moved into the drawing office. At the time of the bombing, I was on my way to the tool room to deliver a message, and I got into one of the corridors in the offices, which some of the correspondence people used as a shelter. On one side was the managing director's office, the other side was the correspondence office, but I'd Romeo petitioning down the one side. And I saw my girlfriend in there at the time, stopped to speak to her when the first bombs were dropped. And when I heard the noise, I realised what it was, and I told her to get down, but she refused, so I pushed her to the floor, laid on top of her. The Romeo petitioning, all the glass shattered, and we were covered in glass, and a piece of counter shafting with a 4-foot pulley came through the roof and dropped within 8 feet of us. Neither of us got a scratch. If I'd have carried on, do you want me to move round?
That's all right.
Yeah. If I'd have carried on, I should have been in the grindery where a bomb dropped on the top of a shelter, and if I'd have carried on still further, I should just about got to the tool room when the bomb dropped on there. And most of my friends or acquaintances worked in the tool room. There was a piece of the marking off table where 8 people were sheltering. It was found in the laundry in Barmergate, which is about half a mile away. Just hang on. I'm just trying to think.
I'm just going to. Over here is all the 41 names. I want to see if you recognise any of the names up here.
Yeah.
As you know, you've got many people who are listed on this list here. We're coming up to the chapel, which is just let you know. There's some of the names here.
Well, the ones that I remember by name was Bertie Ball, Alf Ridge, Horace Growcock, Markle, and Jim Hanger. Those are the ones that I remember by name. But most of them I knew as acquaintances.
Yes, well, like I said, you can pop into the old chapel here, and you can see what we've done in here with a little exhibit. He's just explaining his experience about Ransome and Marles. Here's some names up here, Bert. See if you recognise anybody's picture here. As you can see, Ernest Beale's memorial there.
Bertie Beale.
He was a Sherwood Forester. Nobody realised he was in the Sherwood Foresters. And we've got all the... And there's
the Home Guard. I knew quite a few of those. Let's look at the names. There's more of these, I think. Lieutenant Norcott, I knew him. Captain Storer. Singleton, Rose, Townsend, Ross, Holmes. Yes, I knew all of those quite well. And actually, I've got a book with all these pages in.
Oh, good.
Yeah. But the things that I remember stick in one's memory. The drawing office where I worked had got 2 windows in the end, facing the road. And they were about 8 foot by 4 foot. One of the bombs dropped, sucked the complete window frames out, and laid them on the lawn without breaking a pane of glass. The other thing I remember is I was a stretcher bearer. We were looking for casualties, and I went into what they call one of the fitting up departments, and the chief constable of Newark was in there, said, "Where do you think you're going?" I said, "Well, we're looking for casualties." Millhouse was his name, I don't know whether you remember him. And he said, "Well, get to hell out of here, there's a £500 unexploded bomb." We didn't need telling twice. The other thing I remember is we got a casualty on the stretcher when the second bombs were dropping, and we got to the hospital stairs and we slid down the stairs with a stretcher, and I never did find out what happened to the casualty. I also remember a bomb dropping on the roof of the maintenance department. It bent a roof structure, fell into Abbott's Field, unexploded, and the bomb disposal people came the next morning and took the fuses out and blew it up. That's the thing that I remember most, Lawrence.